Herobrine. Herobrine is a creepypasta made by the community of Minecraft. His appearance is identical to Minecraft main character Steve. Herobrine's first appearance was in an encounter posted to the paranormal board in 4chan in August 2010. I had recently spawned a new world in single-player Minecraft. Everything was normal at first as I began chopping down trees and crafting a workbench. I noticed something move amongst the dense fog. I had a very slow computer, so I have to play with tiny render distance. I thought it was a cow, so I pursued it, hoping to grab some hides for armor. It wasn't a cow though. Looking back at me was another character with the default skin, but his eyes were empty. I saw no name pop up, and I double checked to make sure I wasn't in multiplayer mode. He did not stay long. He looked at me and quickly ran into the fog. I pursued him out of curiosity, but he was gone. I continued on with the game, not sure what to think. As I expanded the world, I saw things that seemed out of place for the random map generator to make. 2x2 tunnels in the rocks, small perfect pyramids made of sand in the ocean, and grooves of trees with all their leaves cut off. I would constantly think I saw the other player in the deep fog, but I never got a better look at him. I tried increasing my render distance too far whenever I thought I saw him, but to no avail. I saved the map and went on the forums to see if anyone else had found the pseudo player. There were none. I created my own topic telling of the man and asking if anyone had a similar experience. The post was deleted within 5 minutes. I tried again, and the topic was deleted even faster. I received a PM from username Herobrine containing one word: stop. When I went to look at Herobrine's profile, the page 404, I received an email from another forum user. He claimed the mods can read forum user messages, so we were safer using email. The emailer claimed that he had seen the mystery player too, and had a small directory of other users who had seen him as well. Their worlds were littered with obviously man-made features as well, and described their mystery player to have no pupils. About a month passed until I heard from my informant again. Some of the people who had encountered the mystery man had looked into the name Herobrine and found that name to be frequently used by a Swedish gamer. After some further information gathering, it was revealed to be the brother of Notch, the game's developer. I personally emailed Notch and asked him if he had a brother. It took him a while, but he emailed me back a very short message. I did, but he is no longer with us. I haven't seen the mystery man since our first encounter, and I haven't noticed any changes to the world other than my own. I was able to press print screen when I first saw him. He is the only evidence I have of his existence. On May 12, 2019, an anonymous 4chan user started a thread in the site's paranormal board/X, inviting users to post pictures of disquieting images that just fell off. The user posted this picture of a yellow room at an off-center angle, and a user replied with a narrative about the picture. If you're not careful and you don't clip out of reality in the wrong areas, you will end up in the backrooms, where is nothing but the stink of an old moist carpet. The madness of mono yellow, the endless background noise of fluorescent lights at a maximum hum buzz, and approximately 600 million square miles of randomly segmented empty rooms to be trapped in. The Backrooms creepypasta version. It was approximately 12:15 when I entered the Johnson Scouting Community Health Clinic. I was there for an appointment I had set up weeks ago, just a routine checkup. It wasn't a new place for me. I have been there a couple of times before. However, the place had an odd, nostalgic feel to it, as if it were a location from my childhood or something. I could never pinpoint exactly what this feeling was, or where it came from. As I walked in, an overwhelming feeling of déjà vu swept over me. The hum of the flickering fluorescent lights, the white tile flooring, the muted beige paint that colored the walls. I noticed that there was a TV mounted in the corner, a smaller flat screen that was playing a short PowerPoint slideshow on loop of ads and events that were being held by the clinic. I passed the empty waiting area, a small area of the main room with magazines, children's playthings, and a blue cushioned chairs, and approached the woman at the front desk. She was sitting in her bluish-gray office chair, looking at a spreadsheet on the same Windows XP desktop they had since 2008. There was a sign-in sheet on the counter in front of me. I have an appointment with Dr. Pebbings. What time? 12:30, I replied. She began typing something into her keyboard. Oh, yes, she responded. Gary Johnson? Yes, I'll tell the doctor. Please fill this out. She handed me a clipboard which held a simple fill-out form. I walked back to the waiting area, took a seat, and began to fill out the form. I was about halfway done with the filling in my information when I slumped back in my chair. I hadn't got much sleep the night prior, and I was exhausted. As I slumped back, I noticed something very peculiar. My head never hit the wall. In fact, it felt like it went in. I got up, quite frightened, and looked at the wall. Nothing. Not a single hole or dent had been made on the wall by my head. So I reached to touch the wall, and my fingers went through it. I recoiled in shock. What the hell was that? I thought, as I reached to touch the wall again, only to find my fingers clipped through once more. Then suddenly, I lost my balance, tripped, and fell directly through the wall. I fell face first onto some dirty tan carpeting. Upon getting back up, I realized that I was in a completely different room. Well, not really a room per se, more so a set of rooms, all of which connected by openings. The walls were covered in gross tan patterns wallpaper. There was also an overwhelming stench of moist cabinet. I turned back around and tried to put my hand back through the wall, and it wouldn't go through. Okay, what the fuck? I looked back into the room. There were no windows, no doors, nothing on the walls, other than that disgusting wallpaper, of course. It was completely empty, aside from a singular plastic blue school chair. At this point, the only thing going through my mind was fear, and the repeating thought that I need to leave on loop in my head. I started running through the rooms, desperately trying to find an exit, but to no avail. There was no exit. Was this my permanent location? Until I die? No, there had to be a way out. I wasn't just going to be left here, right? Eventually someone would notice that I was gone, but nobody did. Then, in the distance, I heard footsteps, not those of a human, at least not a normal human. Alongside the footsteps was a gurgling snarl, like that of an angry animal. I began to run as fast as I could from whatever the hell was approaching me. I didn't want anything to do with it. I ran for what seemed like forever, but I was always back in the same room I started in. At least it looked like the same room, not that I could tell them apart. So I sat down defeated. A feeling of dread filled my body as I started to cry. I was going to die here. I'm still there. I haven't left. I've accepted my fate. In fact, I can actually hear footsteps. I wonder who that is. Tails Doll. Tails Doll was created by Yoshitaka Miura and was manufactured by Dr. Robotnik to get Sonic unguarded during the World Grand Prix. Due to his eerie design, Tails Doll has been the main protagonist in a lot of creepypastas at the time, the most famous of them being the Tails Doll Curse. A man came home from work with a gift for his son. He had picked up a new video game for him, Sonic R. It was a racing game, and when he gave his son the gift, he was so excited to get it and play right away. That night, he played the game with his son, and they had a great time. A couple of days later, the boy was almost finished with the game. His dad was there in the room when he beat the last boss, and he roared in excitement when he finally did it. He smiled and asked him how he liked the game as he watched the credits screen. "What's that?" he asked the boy when Tails Doll appeared on the screen. The boy said it was the Tails Doll. That was all he knew. He told his son it was time for bed. During the night, the curious father went into the boy's room and turned on the TV very quietly to play the game for a while himself. He noticed that he now had the option to play as Tails Doll. He chose him to tag up with some of the gang. The game was fun, until he tagged him up with Sonic. The screen went black when the game shut itself down. The man decided it was time for him to go to sleep, since he had work in the morning. So he crept out of his son's room and went to lay in bed with his wife. At around 2 a.m., he woke up when he heard thumbs on his door. He assumed it was his son getting up to ask him to get him something. He told the boy, "Stop, go back to bed." The thumping kept happening, and at one point he noticed a little shadow coming from under the door. Tails kept popping into his head. He got out of bed and slowly opened the door. Then he heard someone say this very softly, "You are coming with me forever." It was a doll, an evil doll, blood-covered, possessed little doll. It was the doll from the game. It had to be. This creepypasta clearly did not age well. This creepypasta was so popular that Tails Doll had a summoning ritual during the time, and people were actually scared. The ritual is as follows. To summon Tails Doll, you must play the Sonic Air game 100% completed, play as the Tails Doll, and play tag mode. While playing tag mode, you will see Super Sonic. When you tag him, something strange will happen. The screen will change to a picture of the Tails Doll. You'll see him standing on a red checkered floor. You might be hearing a song called "Can You Feel the Sunshine?" If you see a red light, don't go near it. It's the Tails Doll. It might kill you, or it will give you a curse. It will give you bad luck.